So the top performing SPACs 2020 for completed deals, we have QS, DKNG, MP, LAZR, LPRO, BWMX, OPEN, VLDR, TTCF, and UTZ. So we're going to dive into each one of those individual names. I know Mitch put them up on the screen there as well. So up first, we have Quantumscape. So shares are at 97.38 today. This is a battery play, best performing SPAC. We saw shares over 100. I'm going to go ahead and take the no on this. I think there's lots of battery names coming public. A lot of them have revenue or better timelines for getting deals done, whereas Quantumscape's a couple years out. I think this one continues to drop, and I don't think it can sustain $97 in 2021. Just my thought here.
I'm going to go on the opposite side for you. I'm going to go and I'm going to put a 1 here.
Okay.
I'll say yes. I will see this one above 100 in 2021. That's what I'll say.
All right. And then up next, we have DraftKings. So DKNG. Before Quantumscape, this really was, the top performing SPAC that really has been able to sustain those levels over 40. DraftKings is a yes for me. Sports betting is going to be a major story in 2021. I think the company has established, market share leadership in a lot of its states. I think it will continue to trade at a higher premium than some of these other names. So I would say it's a yes for me. How about you, Mitch?
All right. So when I see that chart, I can definitely see the strength in it. You've gotten these multiple highs to try to rip out. I think what's going to be very important is around this 44 and 40 price point. I think at the end of the day, you're going to see state by state push for legalization, or, well, we already got the legal, but at least actually going towards the gambling market and going state by state. So this is a positive story. At the end of the day, in the long run, I like certain plays in this sector. To me, DKNG is a no, but I do like the sector. So there's other ones that we'll talk about that I do like in this area.
All right. And then up next, we have MP. So this is MP Materials. So this is the thing behind the thing, rare earth mining. They're the major pure play in the U.S. as we try to, rid ourselves from using China for materials. They're really starting to ramp up production. We had the CEO, James Litinsky, on the show. He talked to us about in the future how they'll be able to sell to companies like Tesla direct. Not sure if that happens in 2021, but with the Biden administration coming in, clean energy being a major theme, I see MP. It's a yes for me for going higher in 2021. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, well, this is one we actually had on the show. I think the day we had it, it was at like even $14. So stick with the show, guys. I mean, hit the like down below, hit the subscribe so you can stay with us when we bring these executives on. But I see that 40 turnaround, and the biggest thing for me is going to be 25. I'm seeing 25 on the chart here multiple times. Let it come back towards that area and see if we can get another pop of volume in that area. That's what I'll be looking for. Long term for me, I think this one's one. Yeah, a yes.
All right. And then up next, we have Luminar, LAZR, which we just talked about. So that may change some opinions here. So Luminar, I had written down a no. Obviously, if that link to Tesla happens, it's going to go higher. To me, there's too many LiDAR plays going public now. Luminar was the first ones. They kind of had that first mover advantage with the public market. I don't think it can sustain those $30 levels. Again, I might be proven wrong real fast here, but Luminar was a no for me.
All right, as we can take a look at this chart, we had that massive drive up to 47.50, have bounced off of that 22.50 here, made another drive up to 37.50. We're pulling back here near that 30. I think it's going to be very important of seeing that downtrending volume. I always talk about volume, guys. So you see this bars, how they keep coming in this downtrending action. Wait for that big pop up again here. I'm going to be looking for a day like this where it has, 30 million, 40 million. Up here is 67 million shares traded and 58 million shares traded. You need some shares to drive it back up there. If it's going to make that big drive, it's going to need a catalyst and it's going to need volume. So to me, long run, I think these stocks are big plays for the next year. So to me, this one is a 1.
All right. And then up next, we have Open Lending. So LPRO. This one hasn't gotten a ton of attention on our show because it was a deal completed before we started. I have a no written down for me just because I think there's a lot of competition out there, but it's one I might do some further research on, in that market. What do you think, Mitch?
I'll go strictly off the chart here. So if we look at this chart, what do you see, guys? straight uptrend. I mean, this is a nice uptrend. I mean, this doesn't show kind of weakness ever coming in here. Personally, I think if I had to base it on not knowing the business, but base it on off the chart, I like this chart. You know, it did definitely get a significant volume here at 28. So when it comes back to that level, be careful, guys, because, you know, you could get a quick downfall to like maybe 22 or 20s. But I'll be looking for this one, maybe potentially to see if it can continue this kind of uptrending slope line. I mean, I'll draw it for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I mean, look at this. You know, when a line follows like that, you know, what I want to see is when it comes back to that line, if we're going to get that bounce again. You know, it keeps bouncing off that line. So look for that trend to kind of hold. That's what I'll say about this one. At least from the chart, it looks like a 1 to me.